Contributors Nolan Finley and Stephen Henderson. Don't I take you guys to all the nice places?
Yeah, and you've got nice music playing, Christmas music
Tree.
playing in the background.
It's funny, I was saying earlier that when you walk in, you always just look directly up when you're in the Fisher building.
Scenery.
It's beautiful scenery.
You know,
Terrific building.
Can you imagine that when they planned this building, they planned 3 of them here? And this was going to be like a whole big new downtown. But 1928
Recession.
and they said,
crash.
how about we build 1 of those instead of 3?
You know, it's very different, and there have been so many cycles of what this building is and what it has meant, and now I feel that we're in a bit of a different era with it, Nolan.
Well, this is an area like so many areas in the downtown or near downtown that are, you know, getting a lot of investment. As I drove up West Grand Boulevard, you see the platform's new apartment building up there, retail building, the cancer center that Henry Ford is building. All of a sudden you're seeing cranes up here, state building across the street needs some attention. I think it would be smart to take the county offices out of the Guardian building and move them in their space, and Guardian could be put to better use. So there's a lot of potential up here. We were just over on Woodward Avenue where shops are slowly filling in at Woodward and Grand Boulevard. So a lot of potential here.
You also have the Q line that comes all the way up here. That's the last stop. It ends up through here.
You know, this is the next big test for the kind of redevelopment we've seen downtown. You know, everyone is really focused on neighborhoods right now, and that's really important. But this is another commercial district that grew up around the same concept as downtown when it was built. Can you replicate what we've been able to do with density downtown at this point up here is a real question, because this is a little further away, it's a little more isolated, and there aren't as many anchor institutions.
It's more car dependent up here.
Yeah.
It needs to become more walkable, I think. They need to
right.
build in some pedestrian areas and create, if you're going to try to create a second downtown feel or a third downtown feel, you've got to get that walkability.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about neighborhoods. Big announcement out of Duggan's office, $35 million for the Strategic Neighborhood Fund coming from corporations to help out some of the neighborhoods that we've been talking about, one of Jefferson Chalmers. It really, I think, again, underscores the investment that companies, philanthropy, that they're the ones that have to help make and infuse in the city right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you think about all of the work that needs to be done in these neighborhoods, there is no way to sort of create that kind of cash flow or investment organically in those places. And I think there's a direct message being sent here. The administration went out and put the arm to the business community to say, you have invested really heavily in downtown, and that's great, and we appreciate it, but we need you to show that same commitment to neighborhoods, partially as a way of changing the narrative about how the city is coming back. I mean, there's been this unevenness that everyone has pointed out quite rightfully. Here you have business saying, all right, we will play a role in this redevelopment as much as, or as, you know, to some extent, to match what we've done in downtown and midtown.
And you need that money.
And 4 of the 7 companies are banks. You do need the money. You can't get it all from Dan Gilbert and a couple other players. It needs to be a more diverse philanthropy group. But 4 of these contributors to the $35 million pool are banks, and you need banks engaged in these neighborhoods to find creative solutions to finance all this stuff.
That's right.
Because Dodd-Frank still continues to make it hard to get mortgages, to get business financing, so you need banks fully engaged in this redevelopment of neighborhoods.
It's going to be interesting to see where some of that investing comes from. And I thought it was really interesting at the press conference. People are also talking about patience, that while people want to see things happen right away, that you're going to start to see this $35 million infuse in the next 5 years. This isn't something that's going to be happening next year. And I think, you know, taking it one step further, talking about Fitzgerald, where there was a little bit of moaning that, you know, the park there and that things were taking a little longer than people in the neighborhood thought it would be, that there is that stress for patience. This is coming.
Well, people are overselling a little bit, right? Fitzgerald was announced as this huge plan that would build a park, and flip over all these houses and everything would be fine, and people believed that, but there was no reason to believe that that could happen on the timetable that they set out. The problems in the neighborhoods are not just deeper than they were in downtown, they are fundamentally different. And the need for human investment in these areas to really change the fortunes of those areas is what matters the most, and it takes the longest. It's the kind of thing that you pay for today and wait 5 or 10 years sometimes to see it pay off.
Well, and you know, you now have 10 neighborhoods on your way with a strategic fund. I would caution against formulaic approaches. Not every neighborhood might need a new
Same
park.
thing,
You know,
right?
maybe some neighborhoods need a rec center, some neighborhoods need something else. But this idea of coming in and investing in the commercial strips and investing in the landscape around a neighborhood to draw, and in the housing stock, to draw in residents and businesses, I think it's a good idea.
And again, every time we talk about investment and change, important that you're getting input from the people who live there. And we'll
Well, that's
see
what
if
they're
that,
doing.
and that will continue to
You got to
happen.
invest in the people who
Right.
live there.